Today, we're going to explore the real science behind relationship compatibility. I'll show you the hidden factors that determine whether your relationship will thrive for decades or slowly drift apart. More importantly, you'll learn how to spot these compatibility markers before you invest months or years with the wrong person. Let me start by telling you about Sarah and Mike. They met on a dating app, and everything seemed perfect. Both loved hiking, had similar careers, came from the same background, and their friends thought they were ideal together. 6 months later, they were having the same argument every single week. Neither could understand why things felt so difficult when they seemed so compatible. The problem wasn't their surface-level similarities. It was that they had completely different core operating systems when it came to love and relationships. Sarah processed emotions by talking through everything in detail. Mike needed time alone to think before he could express how he felt. Sarah showed love through quality time and deep conversations. Mike showed love by solving problems and taking care of practical things. Neither approach was wrong, but they were speaking completely different emotional languages. This is what I call the compatibility paradox. The things that seem important when you're dating often have very little impact on long-term relationship success. So what actually matters? After studying thousands of couples and working with relationship experts, I've identified 7 core compatibility factors that predict relationship success with remarkable accuracy. These aren't the cute compatibility quizzes you find online. These are the deep structural elements that either create lasting harmony or inevitable conflict. The first factor is emotional processing compatibility. This goes way beyond whether you're both emotional or both logical. It's about how you each handle stress, conflict, and big decisions. Some people are external processors who need to talk things through immediately. Others are internal processors who need space to think first. Some people solve problems by analyzing every detail. Others trust their gut instincts. Here's why this matters so much. When you're stressed or facing a challenge, you both default to your natural processing style. If those styles clash instead of complement each other, every difficult situation becomes a relationship crisis instead of an opportunity to grow closer. Think about the last time you had a disagreement with someone you're dating or were in a relationship with. Did you both handle it the same way? Did one person want to talk it out immediately while the other needed space? Did one person want to focus on feelings while the other wanted to focus on solutions? These patterns reveal your emotional processing compatibility. A second factor is what I call life rhythm compatibility. This isn't about whether you're both morning people or night owls, though that can matter. It's about your fundamental approach to living life. Some people are spontaneous and prefer to keep their options open. Others feel most comfortable with structure and plans. Some people recharge through social activities and being around others. Others need regular alone time to feel balanced. When your life rhythms are compatible, being together feels effortless. Your natural ways of living support each other instead of creating constant friction. When they're incompatible, one person often feels suffocated while the other feels neglected, even when you both care deeply about each other. I want you to think about your ideal weekend. Now think about your partner's ideal weekend. If you put those together, does it sound amazing or exhausting? That's a quick test of life rhythm compatibility. A third factor might surprise you because it's something most people never discuss during the dating phase. It's conflict resolution compatibility. Every relationship has disagreements. The question isn't whether you'll have conflicts, but how you'll handle them when they arise. Some people prefer to address issues immediately and directly. Others need time to cool down before they can discuss things productively. Some people focus on expressing their feelings and being heard. Others focus on finding practical solutions. Some people need a lot of reassurance during conflicts. Others prefer to give each other space. Here's what's fascinating. Couples with compatible conflict resolution styles often say they rarely fight. It's not because they agree on everything. It's because they handle disagreements in ways that feel natural and respectful to both people. The conflict actually brings them closer together instead of driving them apart. On the other hand, couples with incompatible conflict styles often describe their relationship as walking on eggshells. They might avoid bringing up issues because they know it will turn into a bigger problem. Or they might find themselves having the same argument repeatedly without ever reaching resolution. If you want to test conflict resolution compatibility early in a relationship, pay attention to how you both handle small disagreements or stressful situations. Do your natural responses complement each other or create more tension? The fourth factor is growth orientation compatibility. This is about whether you're both committed to personal development and willing to work on yourselves and the relationship. Some people see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. Others prefer stability and consistency over change and growth. Neither approach is right or wrong, but they need to be compatible. If one person is constantly working on self-improvement, while the other is perfectly happy staying exactly the same, it creates an imbalance that's difficult to sustain long-term. Growth orientation compatibility also includes how you both handle feedback and whether you're willing to adapt your behavior for the health of the relationship. The strongest couples I know are both committed to becoming better partners over time. Now let's talk about the fifth factor, which is values and priorities alignment. This goes much deeper than sharing the same religion or political views, though those can be important too. It's about your core beliefs about what makes life meaningful and how you want to spend your time and energy. For example, one person might prioritize career success and financial security above everything else. Another might prioritize family time and work-life balance. One person might value adventure and new experiences. Another might value stability and building deep roots in a community. When your core values are aligned, you naturally support each other's goals and dreams. When they're misaligned, you often feel like you're pulling in different directions, even when you love each other deeply. Here's a simple way to assess values compatibility. Imagine you both had unlimited time and money. How would you each choose to spend your life? If those visions complement each other, you found strong values alignment. The sixth factor is communication style compatibility. This is different from just being good communicators. It's about whether your natural ways of expressing and receiving information work well together. Some people communicate through detailed explanations and lots of context. Others prefer brief, direct communication. Some people express affection through words. Others show it through actions. Some people need regular check-ins about the relationship. Others prefer to focus on just enjoying time together. Communication style compatibility means you both feel heard and understood without having to constantly translate or adjust your natural way of expressing yourself. It's like speaking the same emotional language fluently. The seventh and final factor is what I call future vision compatibility. This is about whether you both want the same general type of life and relationship in the long term. Do you both want marriage, or do you prefer long-term partnership without legal commitment? Do you both want children, or do you prefer to focus on your relationship and careers? Do you want to live in the same type of environment and community? Future vision compatibility doesn't mean you need to have every detail planned out. It means your general direction and desires for the future are pointed in the same direction instead of pulling you apart. Now here's where this gets really interesting. You might be thinking that finding someone who's compatible in all 7 areas sounds impossible, but here's the secret that most people miss. You don't need perfect compatibility in every area. You need enough compatibility in the right areas and the ability to bridge any gaps through understanding and compromise. The key is knowing which areas are non-negotiable for you personally and which areas you can work with. For some people, emotional processing compatibility is absolutely essential, while life rhythm differences can be managed. For others, values alignment is the top priority, while communication style differences can be learned and adapted. This is why so many people struggle with dating apps and traditional matchmaking services. They focus on surface-level similarities instead of these deeper compatibility factors. You might match with someone who shares your hobbies and interests, but operates on a completely different emotional wavelength. Or you might dismiss someone who seems different on paper, but actually shares your core values and life approach. Let me share a quick story about how this works in real life. I know a couple where one person is highly organized and plans everything in advance. The other is spontaneous and prefers to go with the flow. On the surface, this seems like a recipe for conflict. But they're actually incredibly compatible because they both value adventure and new experiences. The organized person handles the logistics, while the spontaneous person brings excitement and flexibility. Their different approaches actually strengthen their relationship instead of creating problems. This brings us to an important point about sexual and physical compatibility. While physical attraction and sexual chemistry